Hey, I'm David.
I'm Lily.
And welcome to Odom Travels. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk all about Santorini. This is the place we decided to spend the most time at while we were in Greece, and yeah.
Santorini is your postcard from Greece.
It really is. And to start off, when we arrived there by ferry, we actually went ahead and reserved our taxi through our hotel. I highly recommend that because there'll be less problems on your end trying to find where the suite is, so forth. They literally meet you. And
the cities are all very walkable, so no cars are coming through the city.
And speaking of which, we were at Maregio Suites, and we're going to talk a lot about this place. It was out of this world. We were greeted with our butler, which actually took my 50+ pound suitcase and threw it on his shoulders and carried it down a bunch of steps. So yeah, once again, make sure you do that. Speaking of our suite, guys, out of all the places we've ever stayed at, nothing comes close to just how majestic, amazing this place was. I mean, it was out of this world. Let's be honest.
It was like a traditional cave house. So essentially, all of Santorini is like volcanic ash.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of traditional cave houses on Santorini, and we just happened to probably stay at one of the best ones.
One of the best ones. And that was in Oía, by the way. That was our first destination. And we're really happy we did that because there was a lot to explore there. And next, while we arrived at Maregio Suites, we decided we're just going to go ahead and cancel our reservation and watch the sunset from our balcony because it was that beautiful.
Yeah, so if you know anything about Santorini, it's one of the best places to see a sunset, and especially Oía, just because it's located on the tip. And so we had really front row seats to a sunset that we will always remember.
Seriously, guys, the sunset was out of this world. I mean, Oía altogether. I remember walking the town later that night, realizing that, it literally felt like you were amongst the clouds and just, I know I've seen a lot of videos on Oía, like you have to go there, but guys, it really is out of this world. It was like no other place we've ever been to. If it was like one thing I could compare it to, it'd be like Machu Picchu. Like that was probably the closest just grandness I've come to. And speaking of which, the very next day we were greeted to a delicious breakfast, literally served on our balcony. It came with the hotel.
Yeah, so for these places, you fill out your breakfast ahead of time.
You do.
So they give you a form, and we fill it the night before.
And then after that, I mean, it was pool day. I wasn't kidding when I said we did not want to leave this place. Guys, we did literally 2 hotel reviews of this place. 2 of them, I will link them up here. And I say 2 because we stayed here twice. More on that to follow. And speaking of pool, something I want to mention also about this place is we didn't even know it came with a pool. We knew it came with a plunge,
private
jacuzzi pool, exactly. But this place turns out they just remodeled the huge master suite and just kind of gave up their pool for the community of everyone staying at that hotel. So that was really nice. So we just had this beautiful picturesque view of just all of Oía and the
I remember
water.
looking down at the pool, and we noticed a couple was there, and we're like, do you think that's their entire pool? We're like, we don't know. And then we're like, let's just walk downstairs. So we walked and realized it was literally for anyone that stayed at Maregio Suites.
Exactly. And they turned it into like a bar/dinner area. Restaurant, yeah. So yeah, and we obviously had lunch there because we tried to spend as much time as possible there.
Yep.
And not only did we have lunch there, but it turns out they just opened up a brand new restaurant, and I believe this restaurant's available to all that go.
I want to say so.
And it's one you should highly recommend. We'll link that information in the description down below. And talk about our experience.
Oof.
Yeah.
So we set a reservation, that we wanted one of the tables, because there's a few tables.
There are, yeah.
Only to find when it was time for our reservation, we were the only ones there.
Literally the only ones, guys. this wasn't supposed to be our anniversary dinner.
Yeah.
But it definitely turned into our anniversary dinner. It was majestic. I mean, we witnessed 2 proposals up on the rock above while we were eating dinner. Not to mention the beautiful sunset. I mean, we had the chef come out twice to us. It was just a one-of-a-kind experience. And I don't think we could really get that anywhere else. Definitely not in the U.S. So.
And also the food.
The food.
I think...
How could I forget?
Well,
super good.
Super good.
Super good. And yeah, so definitely if you're looking for a private, intimate setting, we highly recommend this restaurant and this hotel for that matter. Villa Suites, that is. Speaking of which, the very next day, we were treated to breakfast every single day as we stayed at this hotel. And that's really cool, but I kind of wish we would have branched out into Oía and some of the other places we were to have breakfast because it did get a little repetitive. It was good, but you know how like you eat the same thing over and over. Then the next morning we woke up to take some pictures, and we will definitely link down below. Well, Lily will link down below all the amazing spots to take pictures in Oía because there's a lot of them.
So when I was doing research, I obviously was wondering where all the photographers went to shoot photo shoots, and you know, I read that people would stand in a line for like a long time, like longer than you would think. And so for us to experience all these spots with no line was like incredible.
It really was. We obviously went during COVID, or the end of it, right? Literally the month, you know, Greece opened back up.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this now, highly consider it before things kick fully back into gear.
For sure.
And then we actually took a bus ride. It was our very first bus ride while on Greece to Imerovigli, which, guys, was beautiful. Honestly, I heard a lot about Oía and how like that's the place to go, but Imerovigli is like a mini version of it and literally arguably just as good.
I think it's like the Hamptons of Santorini. Like when you go to New York, everyone says go to New York City, which is like awesome and great, but I'm sure if like, well, we've never been to the Hamptons.
True.
It's like it's like Lux.
It is Lux, seriously, with arguably a better view. I mean,
it is higher.
It is higher, and that's why I say arguably a better view. I think Oía has a better sunset, but the view overall, you overlook this like huge rock and it's more terrainy, if I could say. The reason why we were there is we actually had dinner there, and this was supposed to be our anniversary dinner, not to take away from our first one.
We still treated it like an anniversary dinner.
We did. That's true. It's true.
So this restaurant was like the total gastronomic experience, and this is something like you don't eat every week or every month. This is like something you set aside for a very special celebration because it's a lot of new tastes.
Yes.
And I have been exploring my taste buds, and let me tell you, this dinner was really interesting and really, really special because of like how detailed every dish was.
It really was very detailed. And I guess to talk pricing too, it was the prices to match. You actually have to reserve this ahead of time, and I think you drop
a deposit, like
100 euro deposit. Yeah, so you're looking at least $300 US to eat here, so just keep that in mind. But if you're looking for an anniversary or special dinner.
So after dinner, we took the bus again back to Oía, and just a side note about buses in Santorini, they all run to Fira, which is the capital of Santorini.
Yes.
If you're traveling to a different city other than Fira, you're gonna have to come to Fira first and then take a connecting bus. But it's really cheap, so if you wanna be on a budget, take the bus in Santorini.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, we ended up, because our bus ride to Imerovigli was so simple, we're like, we'll just start taking the bus and save, us 30 euros, a trip. And then we had to wait for a bus and an hour passed by later. So just keep that in mind. Honestly, if I could go back, I probably just would have stuck to taxis because you're wasting time. You're wasting precious time. Speaking of which, the very next day we went to Fira. So
we took the bus to Fira. So once again, Fira is the capital of Santorini, and it is the most affordable place to stay and shop.
after that,
we
went...
hopped on a bus to Imerovigli.
Yes.
And there is a rock formation that is right in front of Imerovigli, and it is actually, quick history note, it was once upon a time a castle, or like there was castles on it, so that's really cool. So it's like ruins, but it was a beautiful hike. Highly recommend it.
Yes.
There was like nobody on this hike.
Oh, that was really nice.
And then the surprise at the end of the hike.
The surprise. Well, it took us a second to find it. We were told there was a church on the other side of the rock.
Yeah.
And I start climbing up this rock. I'm like, there's no way people do this. So we finally turned around. We keep going. It's even further down. So if you're on this hike, just keep going. Keep following the trail.
Yeah.
It's not right behind the rock. It's like at the very end of the formation, so to speak.
Yeah, towards the water.
Yeah, towards the water. How about that? Yeah, and it was picturesque. There's a beautiful church on there. And, you're totally allowed to, get on top of it and take pictures. We spoke about that in other videos, but just, be aware when you're climbing on other people's property. Yeah.
Yeah. And after our hike, this was our last sunset in Santorini, so we took the bus back to Oía. On the way, we grabbed some dinner and just had a sunset dinner at our suite.
Yes, and speaking of our suite, I want to give it another shout out, guys. I will link those videos up above of just the walkthrough of this hotel. I keep calling it a hotel. It's more of like a cave villa. I think that's what I should refer to it as, right?
Yeah.
It was out of this world, guys. I remember when we first got there, you're literally walking into a cave on the side of a mountain. The architecture is completely different than what you see around us right now.
Yeah.
It was just so immersive, if I could describe. Yeah, and it's what made Santorini so worth it for us. I mean, it's arguably where we spent the most money out of all the islands.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't regret it, right? We even canceled a few reservations and moved some things around just so we could spend time at our hotel, villa, suite.
Yeah.
You get the point. So in conclusion, from my perspective, I would say Santorini is a must. It is arguably my 1 or 2 favorite island that we visited in all of Greece. There's so much to see, so many just picturesque moments, and the people there are great. Our staff was great. Want to give a shout out to George. He was amazing. He treated us so well. And chilling by the pool, it was just the epitome of relaxation, which I haven't really felt in a while, considering all this lockdown COVID stuff going on. So that was, from my perspective, amazing.
Yeah. Santorini is so unique, and we only explored the cusp of it. So there, really? I know that there's so much more to Santorini. Honestly, I think it's worth at least to spend 5 days to a week there.
Yes.
So I will hopefully be going. We will hopefully be going back someday.
Actually, funny note. I think I told her put a reminder on your phone in 10 years.
Yeah.
To take you back here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I
guys.
should go do that.
Right? You didn't do it?
I didn't do it.
Okay, we'll make sure to go do that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We have Milos next, and when I said 1 or 2, you're going to want to watch that video. So make sure to subscribe. Shoot a comment if you have any questions about Oía or Santorini for that matter. We will happily answer any questions, and see you in the next one.
See you.